true colors. And I see that Persephone was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
I mean, this whole wager was to prove whether we were worthy of going to Elysium. I know why we can't go. We just want to return to our world.
Very well. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Why? Do you know I'm from another time, or... What are you going to do to me?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox.
Oh, I told him I was
What
time
will become
traveling.
of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time.
I mean, I didn't choose that.
Now,
I
are you ready?
I didn't really have a choice but to... You say interfere, but I just kind of had to throw myself into a portal over and over again. Okay, I'm ready.
You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Oh, you know what? This is more second than going backwards. Oh, God. I'm outside the temple. I'm back in my own time. Oh?
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Alworth? Oh, I came in here to find you originally.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Greg. I mean, I don't know why I'd be hoping he'd know who I was.
Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about
Charon.
the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately
2,000?
for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Persephone,
And as he looked
an
out for that
oracle
flower.
appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt,
Oh, I've
and
got
so
a big
on.
smile on my face from all
Meanwhile,
this.
the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered.
Oh,
What became of him
Galerius.
and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Did he... I kind of forgot to mention the statues, but he must have returned them to be ferried back to our world. And the mysterious oracle single-handedly undid the curse. I mean, it seems a bit far-fetched, you know.
I don't know, it reads like an earnest account to me.
I know,
Anyway,
Galerius
I
was
think
an
I found a way out
earnest
through
man.
the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Oh, right, I'll be right behind you. Galerius was an earnest man. I like him. Here we are. Still got my torch. I don't think I've got a bow anymore. No, you must have taken it from me. Al?
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
That's a good idea.
You go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
Well, right now we're at the... it's still in the afterlife. Here comes my conversation with... Well, is she going to be there, Charon? And a form I'm more comfortable with. Well, hello.
You're back! But... you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found him. He'll be here in a moment.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
Don't you know? Don't you remember meeting me? I discovered you're not who you said you were. Or rather, you let me believe you were someone you weren't. I remember meeting you 2,000 years ago.
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know.
Oh,
I
okay.
suppose you have questions.
I don't like those eyes. Who are you really, then?
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely
Wait.
honest with you when we first met.
Who?
I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
Oh, your eyes are bright. Just hit pause on that. So we had the god of the underworld, we had Persephone, and he said that you were the last two. Oh, sorry, that he and her were the last two. So what does that make you? Were you another god? So to speak, were you from Elysium? But what truth are you talking about?
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
Do I need to ask, how did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Yeah, what if it's something I need to know when if I get sent back? What if I need to, get something checked out? Yeah, I want to know.
As you wish. You were murdered.
I was what?
You made a purchase in a marketplace, and the change you received was, by mistake, a single silver coin of ancient origin.
The one I had on me
You
when
were
I
seen
arrived.
inspecting it, and soon after, you were set upon by two thieves. The shopkeeper who had given you the coin saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each
Al.
in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here.
Pluto said all the coins or said that the coins Alanai had were the last in existence. What does that even mean for you? Is he... He's no longer even there. So in this timeline, you brought Alanai here simply because it was your duty, even knowing there was nothing awaiting us?
It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Sounds like you need a hobby. What's so special about these coins, though? The tokens? How did he keep track of them all?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths.
I have.
To pay the ferryman for passage across the river.
I have.
Well, those stories contained a seed of truth. But not any coin would do.
I know, they had to be
A
his
long
token.
time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world.
Is this just
My orders were
recounting
simple.
time?
Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Yeah, Pluto mentioned that my coin was the last in existence. Or like we're the same with Al, but I'm asking specifically what this means for you.
It means I am now bereft of purpose.
No, I know.
There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
And, well, I was kind of led to believe that you'd be returning us to the land of the living now.
I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al!
It's amazing
It's
the
so
way you
good
can
to
do
see
your
you.
eyes.
You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted.
We are exhausted.
Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
Oh,
And you? Are you ready to go home?
alright, Charon. Ferry us home. Sense of humor, you. Oh, hello. I didn't expect this. Is that a... Oh, it's a lion eating a horse. Oh, I don't want to see that. Wait, is that one of the people of Elysium? His eyes are glowing blue like Pluto's were. Currently exhibiting ancient Rome, Greece, Egypt, and Sumer. Hello? Oh!
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again.
God, you scrubbed
After
up
everything
well.
you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Galerius left some clues for us, did he? An ancient Roman statue of an unknown man. In an inscrutable pose, one hand seems to welcome and the other warns.
It's you.
There he is.
Ow.
Hello.
Hello? How are you here?
You're finally here. Remember me?
I do remember you. Galerius, my main man. What are you doing here?
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember
Oh,
me.
no, I
but
remember you.
I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
You're welcome. You're with Equatia now.
I know. I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
Oh, I'd love to be there. I'd love it. Count me in. What are you doing yourself these days?
Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course.
Oh,
It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
I'm glad. It's good to see you again, Galerius.
Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Oh, we better. Equatia.
You're here. It's lovely to finally
Oh, that's not
meet
very
you.
chaste, what
Galerius
you're wearing
told me
now.
all about you.
It's good to see you too, Equatia.
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work.
Oh,
I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
I'm glad. What are you doing yourself these days?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family. And Dooley too, of course.
Of course.
Feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined.
I'm just so
We're
happy
just
these
so
two
thankful for what you did for us.
have like a second shot at life together. How's Livia? She been okay? She recovering?
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere. If you'd like to ask her yourself.
I'm gonna hunt down every single one of you. I'm gonna do that. It's good to see you again, Equatia.
See you at the wedding, I hope.
Oh, I won't miss it. You know, you go through time enough times with people like this, you get attached. The relief of Persephone. A relief depicting a great circular portal, and Persephone, the Roman goddess of the lives and renewal, or the cycle of life and renewal. Julie!
Hello, I'm Dooley.
Hello, Julie. Remember, look with your eyes, not with your hands. Okay, I remember who you are.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
And I didn't like it either. What are you doing with yourself? You're living with Galerius and Equatia?
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house.
Equitia. Oh, I keep
They
mispronouncing
look
her
after
name.
me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
Oh, I never found a treasure. So it wasn't Scintilla. There was actually a treasure in there. In the cistern. I'm sorry, Julie. I never found your treasure.
Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories.
Oh?
It's my favourite thing.
I'm glad you're happy. It's good to see you again, Julie. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye. We got... Oh, it's a lararium. I saw those everywhere in the city. A small household shrine where ancient Romans offered daily prayers for protection.
Oh,
Who's-
hello.
Hello. I need to find where You're not Scintilla, are you? You're
Hey.
I'll get back to you. Yulia.
You're the Oracle, right?
That's what they call me, but Greg's fine.
Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
I'm glad. Well, what are you doing yourself these days?
Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm
You look
living
so
in
much
a house
happier.
share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and
Wow.
write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was.
I mean,
Did you
for
know
its
there
time.
are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And
I-
you can travel almost
do.
anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable.
Have you ever
Oh,
flown on a
sorry,
Pegasus?
You already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited.
No, I'm really glad you're
There's
excited.
so much to see and learn and write about.
Seeing the world through your eyes, it must be fascinating. It must just, every day is an adventure.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are.
I know
hope to
it.
change that. One day.
I mean, we get clean water from taps. It baffles me. This whole world, this present day baffles me of how marvelous it all is and how kind of equally terrifying it all is. Whatever happened to Malleolus and Claudia, though? Are they here?
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia,
Excellent.
she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
Oh, I would just use karma. I think you're allowed to feel that way after what they did to you. Particularly Malleolus. I think Claudia, as you say, she's always been miserable.
Thank you. You're very kind.
And whatever happened to Aurelia? I'm struggling to remember who Aurelia was. Oh, no. Which one was Aurelia? I can't... Whatever happened to Aurelia? Who I know exactly who that is.
Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich
Oh,
prince,
the tavern wench!
and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently, he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck.
Don't worry. Something tells me she is also going to get what she deserves over there. I mean, she's been scammed.
Well, you are the Oracle, so I suppose I'll take your word for it.
Oh, please stay.
I feel better already.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again, Yulia.
You too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
You know what? I'll take you up on that.
I hope so.
I will. You got to introduce me to your girlfriend as well. Lucretia.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you.
Hey, Lucretia.
Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Speaking of which, I wanted to
I
say
mean, look what
thank
happened to
you in
Malleolus.
person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So...
Wait, Persephone. Whatever happened to Persephone? What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
That's a lovely sentiment. It's good to see you, Lucy.
You too. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, I won't. Who
Hey.
is...
Evening.
Oh, Camo? You could have worn anything and you wore camo.
Hi there, I'm Horatius.
I know, we met. Hi, Horatius.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And reuniting Centilla with us as well. So, thank you.
Oh, Oh, you had a girl, didn't you? I'm sorry you never got to see her again.
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
Oh, well said, I guess. Well said.
Thanks.
What are you doing with yourself these days? You didn't enlist, did you?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
Well said. Whatever happened to your buddy Domitus? Or Domitius? Is he like a wrestler now or something?
He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
one.
no.
He
You
had
gotta-
more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC, so he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his
Oh.
luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
I mean, it really wasn't really a way for him to adjust into this life. He was a killer. You know, he wasn't a soldier, he wasn't protecting anything, he was killing for the celebrity and the money. It's a shame.
Perhaps.
Well, it's good to see you anyway.
And you. Farewell.
Farewell. Sentia. Your father's not around here, is he?
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
Oh, you're... It's good to see you again, Sentia. You're welcome for coming. You're certainly not as snobbish as you once sounded.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Persephone emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
Ooh, what happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld.
Ooh.
Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
I don't know if I would wish that fate on anyone. Like, truly, just, you should have executed him. Or left him with nothing. It seems excessive, don't you think?
Meh, I try not to think about him at all.
Well, I'm glad you can detach that part of your brain. What are you doing these days?
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there.
Alexa?
Barbarians everywhere.
You know what, Cynthia? I'm completely with you on that. Hey, it's good to see you again.
You too. See you around.
Yeah, see you around. Maybe I'll come visit your villa. Oh, wait, I've not looked
Evening.
at... Evening. Cavalry helmet. An ancient Roman cavalry helmet with an enclosed face mask and a plume made of dyed horsehair. What type of... I've seen a shield like that before. Hello. Hello. Greetings.
And here you are. It's wonderful to see you again.
And you. Good to... probably loving this, aren't you?
Oh, and by the way, I go by Philip now. A fine Greek name. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
My Katabawa? What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
I bet it must be a dream for you being surrounded by intellectuals after being alone so long. Do you still think Utopia is out of reach?
Aha! You remember that?
Yes, I do.
I have to admit, I've been profoundly impressed by the advances humans have made these past 2 millennia. The sum total of human knowledge available at our fingertips, miraculous modern medicines, and a series of prosperous democracies. Your contemporaries have come further toward utopia than I ever thought possible, though there's still a way to go.
A long way to go. Hopefully we'll get there one day.
I hope so.
Me too. Oh, it's good to see you again.
My sincere thanks once again.
You're welcome. Thank you for all your help. Must be surreal looking at your own bed like that. Are these all relics from Forgotten City?
Hello!
Hello, Yulia. Oh, you know what? I love Yulia's energy. I hope I meet a governor. Oh, Georgius! Or Georgius.
Greetings.
Hello.
You must be the legendary oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius.
Hello, it's good to see you too.
I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that, I am most grateful.
You're welcome. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
Oh, I consider me there. It's good to see you again.
You too, my friend.
And Fabia, we never really talked much. You...
Hello.
Hello. I don't like that dress. Well, I'm going to tell her that. Fabia.
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia.
Oh, Fabia. Hi, Fabia.
I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure.
You're welcome, and it's a long story. Maybe we'll get into that story another day.
I'm just so happy to be here, with you and everyone, together again, even if it's just for one more night.
What are you doing with yourself?
Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy.
Oh,
Mostly
good.
that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
It sounds like it's been a hell of a year for you. That sounds like a life well spent.
Oh, it really is.
It's good to see you.
You too.
Do yoga, to get off all that baking and then just do it all over again. What is going on here?
Some soiree, innit?
Can you not read, Decius?
Oh, hello at last. You must be the oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Decius.
I don't care for this. Oh, actually. Does he not remember that I swindled him out of like 5,000 denarius? I'm Decius.
Listen.
Oh, no, hi
my
Decius. I'm not Decius. I'm
appreciation
Greg.
for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
No need to thank me. It was entirely unintended.
Such acerbic wit. I love it.
No, it's not wit. I don't really want to ask, but morbid curiosity and all that. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In
course.
fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the Oracle and Future Seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms.
Wow.
What do you recommend?
I wouldn't help you even if I could. I mean, I'd tell you to invest in green energy.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
DVD rentals. They have a bright future ahead of them.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah,
Go
yeah.
home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm going to make a bloody fortune.
Well, with a laugh like that,
Of course.
I'm going to be
don't let
going.
me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
Security! Security!
Good evening.
No. Olivia and Octavia.
Hello there.
Hello. Olivia first. How are you doing?
Greetings.
You're looking really well.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
What are you doing to yourself these days? And I know it's, probably a far cry from Pluto's Elysium, but it's certainly something, isn't it?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
That was kind of her. Read any good poems?
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now.
There's some real classics
I'm
as well.
already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe.
Ah, Sir
I think
Edgar
I may
Allan.
have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
Well said. It's a fine line between madness and, I think, the loftiest intelligence. It's good to see you again. I'm glad
And
you're well.
you. Farewell, friend.
Farewell. I'm liking the hair as well. Very stylish. Octavia, we never really spoke much either.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Nice to see you too, Octavia.
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us.
Oh,
But
you're
thank you
still a believer,
for
are
coming
you?
and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and
Oh, I'm
I'll
not seeing
never
Rufius
forget
and Virgil yet. What are you doing with yourself? I know you're taking care of Livia.
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber, not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor.
Oh, after
you
what
sent
happened with
Galerius to
Ulpius.
persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired.
Oh,
I
I'm
just want
glad.
to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him.
It sounds like a noble cause. Good for you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Well, it was good to see you again, Octavia. I
And
better
you.
get going.
Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us.
Yeah, no, sounds good. I'm in. I'd love to do that.
Wonderful. I'll see you soon.
Who we got next? Rufius? Oh no, it's Kabash. Oh, how are you going to take this? You are quite... That's an interesting jacket. Did you make that yourself?
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle.
Thank you, Kabash. I'm wondering how you took finding out that your gods were built upon other gods who were actually built upon aliens, I guess.
You know my name?
We met.
Oh, of course.
You tried
You
to
are
kill me
Oracle.
once.
You know many things. I too would
I
like
also
to
knew you tried to
offer
kill
my
me
thanks for releasing us from that place, and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife.
You're
Now,
25?
I think it is time I had some fun.
Oh, no, wait, that raises a great question about life expectancy for these people. Because life expectancy was so much lower back then. And now that they have access to modern medicine and healthcare, and, you know, nutrition, I wonder how old they'll grow to. It sounds like you've earned it. Well, you have earned it. Go have some fun. I'm really glad that you're celebrating life and exploring.
Indeed.
It's good to see you again, Kabash.
Thank you, Oracle.
And you. Oh, thank you. Except for that time you tried to kill me. Statue of Kahirti. Archaeologist insight. The Egyptian ram-headed deity believed by the Egyptians to ferry the deceased to the underworld. He is associated with death and Osiris, the god of the underworld. Why do I have archaeologist insight now? I had amnesia. An ancient statue of Anubis, the ancient Egyptian god of mummification, embalming, and among other things. Oh, there they are. Oh, Centella!
Hello there.
Hi. Hi, Centella.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name.
I thought he adopted you. Oh, Gabriella, I know which monster she's referring to. Sentius.
You didn't hear? My adoptive father, Sentius, locked me up in the upper cistern to stop me from escaping. After you drove Pluto off, Persephone came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
I'm sorry, I had no idea. I knew! I completely knew. I knew... Apparently I can play stupid and say I had no idea and just pretend that I just left her up there, but I was confronting the god of the underworld on your behalf for everyone's sake. Oh, sounds like he got what he deserved. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria.
Oh, you're living out your dream.
Even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be.
Oh.
I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us.
Oh, I will do.
You can try some of our very own wine.
I'll do just that. It's good to see you again, Gabriella.
Thanks. You too.
And Ulpius.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius.
Hello, Ulpius. You said some really creepy things in my ear once upon a time, but it's good to see you.
I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life.
That's right.
The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt.
Don't mention it. What are you up to? What are you doing with yourself?
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now.
Oh,
and
charming.
Watching the sunset over the rolling hillside.
Maybe don't drink a glass of your wine every day. Like when it's described as barely drinkable. What's that on your shirt? You've got like orange on your sleeves. I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
It's good to see you.
You too.
Oh, there better not be a golden bow around here. If there is, I'm gonna have to steal it away. Rufius.
Nice to meet you.
And you. No, I'm not gonna play dumb. It's good to see you too, Rufius.
I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
I know. It's alright though, I appreciate the sentiment. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time.
And, well, it turns out you were right. The statues really were watching us.
Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant.
Yeah, at least, like... I mean, I agree with the smartphone thing. Like, that's kind of terrifying, knowing that people could be listening in on you. But the security cameras, I find totally reasonable. But, yeah, the smartphone, it's unfortunately true. It's good to see you again.
You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
I will. I'll do just that.
Hello.
Hello, Virgil. I'm just going to have a quick peek at this statue. A Sumerian statue of Nergal. The Mesopotamian... Mesopotamian god of the dead of the underworld. I butchered so many pronunciations throughout my journey through the Forgotten City. Virgil, you two are pretty buff. And also wearing disturbingly identical outfits. Save the shirt. Do you though?
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Oh, it's good to see you, Virgil.
I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow.
What are you doing with yourself? You're living back in Amsterdam, was it?
I'm studying to be an architect again.
Rotterdam,
I'm living
sorry.
with Rufus in a beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
No, I appreciate it. It's good to see you again.
You too. As Rufus said in his own laconic way, if you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
I'm gonna take you up on that. It would be lovely. What else have we got? My god, this place is big. The Greek plaque. The lyre. Just all relics. The Sumerian plaque. The sins of the one shall become the suffering of the many. Sumerian plaque. Nergal, the fierce one. Just... It's all... Block wood has an ichthys carved into it, a Greek symbol adopted by early Christians as a secret symbol of their faith. That explains the fish symbol. A Latin plaque which reads, "All must walk this path to where the laws of day help the virtuous to paradise. In this city beneath the earth, the ravenous hunger of the avaricious is sated at the banks of the stream." My word, but in vain, for none from here may return. And Domitius's dice tower. Wait. It's the moon. Oh, this was in... Wow, how did they get this here? Is this just a recreation? Tell me this is a recreation. This was where the market was, and the avenue, and where Aquatia used to stand. So like overlooking the stairs. Oh,
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now,
I
there's one more person
really
I
did.
wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
It's Persephone. Oh, don't whisper.
Sorry if
Oh.
I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
You made it sound very ethereal. I know that voice. It's you.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Persephone, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me.
It was not a problem. I thank you for your help.
Without your intervention.
So I know you were whispering to me. What became of Charon? I need to know.
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
That's ominous, that she's working on a new kind of underworld all on her own. What became of Pluto?
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
He did imprison you. You created the time loop.
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath.
And how did you teach Sentius that ritual? Was it through the whispering? You were whispering to me all along, right?
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic.
No,
there
don't
were
be.
only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You did what you could. Thank you. I wouldn't have been able to figure out a lot of that, I think, without you. It was lovely to meet you.
And you. Although it feels like I've known you forever.
Oh,
and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
Are you going to tell me that's the crowd down there? Of course I know.
Good. Because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.